Have you ever looked at a Chinese character and just thought, how in the world am I supposed to say that? You're not alone. Well, today we're going to crack the code on the sounds of Chinese, and I promise it's way more logical and elegant than you might think. So let's start with the really common puzzle. Okay, take a look at this character on the screen. Yu. This means language. But just by looking at it, there are zero clues about how it sounds. It's a huge hurdle for pretty much everyone starting out. So how do we figure this out? Well, the answer is right here. It's an amazing system called Pinyin. You can think of it as the official instruction manual for pronouncing Mandarin Chinese. And the best part is, it uses the letters you already know from the English alphabet. It really is the key that unlocks every single sound. So how does this key actually work? Well, every single sound in Mandarin is made from a surprisingly simple recipe. It's just 3 core building blocks. Let's dive in and see what they are. First thing you need to know, in Chinese, every character is just one syllable. That's it. One character, one syllable. And each of those syllables is built from, at most, 3 simple parts. Okay, let's break one down so you can see it in action. Let's take the word bao. First up, you've got the initial. That's the consonant you start with. Here, it's b. Then comes the final. That's the rest of the sound, the vowel part, ao. And last but not least, you have the tone, that little check mark on top that tells your voice what to do with its pitch. So initial, final tone. That is the magic formula. And here's the best part. The number of ingredients in our recipe is totally limited. There are only 21 possible initials and about 35 finals. That's the entire sound palette of the language. It means every word you'll ever say is just a mix and match of one of these and one of those. It's a closed system, which is what makes it completely learnable. Now we come to what is, without a doubt, the most important part. If the initials and finals are the body of a syllable, then the tone. The tone is its soul. It's what gives Mandarin its unique musical quality and, more importantly, its meaning. So how many tones do you need to master? 100? 50? Nope, just 4. 4 main tones that can completely change what a word means. Getting these down is the real secret to being understood. And this table shows them perfectly. The first tone is high and flat, kind of like you're holding a note, ma. The second tone rises up, like you're asking a question, ma. The third tone dips down and then comes back up, ma. And the fourth tone is a sharp, quick fall, like you're giving a command, ma. Listen to that, ma, 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 ma. Same letters, but those are 4 totally different sounds with 4 totally different meanings. Okay, there is one little extra called the neutral tone. It's super light, super quick, and has no tone mark at all. You can see it right here in the word for dad, baba. The first ba has that strong falling fourth tone, but the second one, it's just a light, little unstressed puff of sound. Simple as that. So if you take one thing away about tones, let it be this. They aren't just for flavor, they are everything. The difference between ma, which is mother, and ma, which is horse, is just the tone. This is not optional. It is the absolute core of how the language works. Okay, now that we have the building blocks, let's look at a few rules of the road. But don't think of these as complicated grammar. Think of them as natural shortcuts the language developed to make speaking sound and feel much more smooth. Here's the most common one you'll run into. Try saying 2 third tones in a row, like in ni hao. Go ahead. It's kind of clunky, right? All that dipping down twice. So the language just simplifies it. When you have 2 third tones together, the first one magically changes into a rising second tone. So ni hao becomes ni hao. See? It just rolls off the tongue way easier. And here's another one of those clever little shortcuts. When a third tone comes before any other tone, so a first, second, or fourth, you only say the first half of it. You do the falling part, but you don't bother rising back up. This half-third tone is used all the time because it keeps speech flowing really fast and natural. Now, let's look at the number 1, or E. This word is a real chameleon. Its tone changes depending on what comes after it, all to help the sentence flow better. As you can see, its default is that high first tone. But if the very next word has a first, second, or third tone, E changes to a falling fourth tone, E. And if the next word is also a fourth tone, it bounces up to a rising second tone, eat. It's all about making it easier to say. The word for no or not, which is bu, has a similar trick, but this one's even simpler. It's almost always a fourth tone.
The only time it ever changes is when it comes right before another fourth tone. In that one case, it pops up into a second tone and becomes bu. It's just another way the language avoids clunky sounds to create a better rhythm.
All right, we've got the sounds, the tones, and the flow. The final piece of the puzzle is just knowing a few spelling conventions so you can read Pinyin perfectly every time. So what happens when a vowel sound makes up a syllable all by itself? Well, the spelling changes just a little bit to make it super clear. The sound I is written as ya, U becomes wu, and U, that's the U with the two dots, is written as U. It's just a way to make sure there's no confusion when you're reading.
Now this next one is a big one that trips up a lot of people, the oo sound. To make this sound, try this with me. Say E, and then, without moving your tongue at all, round your lips like you're going to whistle. That's the sound, oo. Now, the special rule is this. When that oo sound follows the letters J, Q, X, or Y, you drop the two dots when you write it. So even though you see Ju, you have to remember to say Ju. It's a key rule.
And finally, there are just a few little spelling contractions. The language basically shortens some of the longer finals to make them more compact on the page. For example, the sound IU is just written as IU, the sound UE is written as UI, and UN gets shortened to UN. You still say the full sound, the spelling is just a bit tidier. Okay, I know that was a lot of information, but you've officially got all the tools now. You know about initials, finals, tones, and all the little rules of the road. So let's put it into practice and see how this all comes together. All right, look at these phrases. Let's try them together. First up, bai mao. That's a rising second tone, then a high first tone. Next one, hey gol. High first tone, then the dipping third tone. Now, how about hen hao? Remember that rule? 2 third tones in a row? It's written with 2 third tones, but we say it with a rising tone first. Hen hao. And finally, xie xie, a falling fourth tone followed by a light neutral tone. Go on, give them a try yourself.
And there you have it. Pinyin isn't some big mystery, it's a code, and now you have the key. You can look at basically any Chinese word written in Pinyin and know exactly how it's supposed to sound. So the only real question left is, what's the first word you're going to unlock?